Hi everybody, I am making dinner and tonight I wanted enchiladas. But let me tell you something, sometimes I want enchiladas but I don't want the work of enchiladas. So I'm making easy enchiladas tonight. I'll show you kind of my tips and tricks. I'll show you Epicure. I'll show you what is Epicure. I know a lot of people haven't heard of us yet, and so we've only been in the US for 2 years. It's a 25-year-old Canadian company that focuses on healthy food matched with convenience so that you can make 20-minute meals at home in your kitchen that aren't full of preservatives and processed food and junk. So my camera is angled down here so I can kind of show you what I'm doing. This, I realized, was going to be a really long live video, and I don't like to waste your time on Facebook, and so I did a few things ahead of time that I'll kind of show you as I go. But I'm going to tell you kind of my life story as I cook here without going into too much detail. So all I did first, you guys, is I cooked some hamburger, and this, about 10 minutes ago, was frozen solid, okay? So we were a hunting family. We have a bunch of elk burger in the freezer, and so I grabbed this is about 1.5 pounds of that, and I put it in here frozen to defrost in the microwave, and then once it was defrosted, I broke it up with my hamburger separator, and I cooked it for 6 minutes. I'm breaking it up for the second time, and that is done. I don't do taco meat any other way. I don't do hamburger for casseroles or in spaghetti. I don't do it any other way anymore because this is so fast and easy, and it's not a pan on the stove that I have to sit and watch and stir, okay? So I'll talk more about a multi-purpose steamer, but I wanted to be transparent about the things I did ahead of time. So I'm making homemade enchilada sauce, which if you knew Kelsey, if you knew me, before I got sick with multiple sclerosis, this would have been something I would never do. Why in the world would I make homemade enchilada sauce when I could make enchilada sauce out of a can from the grocery store, okay? So here's what happened. Here's why I went from being a convenient cook, not caring about what I ate and just wanted the yummy food, in minutes, to being someone that's crazy health conscious that also still wants all the food in minutes, okay? This is a pre-mixed powder. It has a wonderful recipe on the back. I'm following that recipe. I've done this 100 times, so I don't really need to measure. I'm gonna kind of wing it. That's kind of my style anyways. So, okay, so what turned me into a convenience cook, from a convenience cook into someone who actually wanted to care about the ingredients going into her body? Well, in 2014, I was working a really crappy job that I didn't like. I was very unhappy. I had had some previous health issues that were kind of under the surface, no big deal. But all of that kind of bubbled up into a situation where I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. It started off as like weird tingling in my hands, and then it turned into not being able to move the whole right side of my body, not being able to walk, not being able to think through complete sentences. I had a lot of just like cognitive issues, speech issues, balance issues, and after I was diagnosed with MS and went through all the steroids and the treatments, I was at this crossroads where I had to choose between going on a disease-modifying medication or having babies. And my husband and I had been married for, oh my gosh, a year, and we weren't gonna have babies for like 5 years. We had just bought a house, we were gonna save, we were gonna renovate, we were gonna have babies in 5 years. Well, I didn't want to go on all these scary medications. The side effects didn't look good, and then you cannot get pregnant while on these medications, so didn't want to be on birth control. I am crazy on birth control, and so that was just not a way we wanted to go. Okay, quick break. That was tomato paste and water. That's it. And then I'm whisking it together. I'm going to microwave it for a few minutes in the microwave just to let it thicken up, okay? Okay. So I'm going to microwave it for 2 minutes, and then we will mix it again and see if it's thick enough yet. But while that goes, I'm going to make cowboy caviar here. I know this is like a weird segue, like a commercial break in my story. This is just a block of cream cheese and a can of corn. I'm going to add some green chilies. These are mild green chilies. And I'm doing this tonight. I usually make guac with this because I love our guacamole seasoning, which I'll show you. but my avocados are hard as rocks right now. And so I had to think of something different so I could use this guac seasoning, and I need to reorder it. So I want to show you this though, because this isn't your typical kind of sandy textured guacamole seasoning. This has like chunks of bell pepper and onion and garlic and cilantro in it, so that when it actually is sitting in the food and rehydrates, you get like those little like flavor bombs of all of those ingredients in there. And I think this is why I love this one so much, okay? I also love using this in eggs, or I make like a pulled chicken where I do a green chili salsa and a few tablespoons of that with chicken in a crock pot, and then you pull it apart. You can use that for burritos, enchiladas, all the things. But this guac seasoning, I go through jars and jars of it all the time because it's so good. Okay, so back to my story here. Let me grab a spoon real quick. So I obviously decided not to go on medication, and then we decided we're gonna try to get pregnant. My doctor told me, you know, you have 6 months to try to get pregnant, and if it doesn't work, I highly suggest you get on a medication for your MS. So luckily I got pregnant right away, no issues there, but as I was building a baby, working through healing my body, I did a lot of research on how can I do this holistically and avoid ever going on a medication. And the main thing that was pointed to me, well, two main things was lifestyle and stress, duh, but then also food. I was eating crappy food every day. And it was all things that you get out of the convenience, the freezer section of the grocery store. So I went cold turkey on all of that. I cut everything out. I made 3 fresh meals a day. I increased the amount of veggies I was eating. For a while I went gluten-free and dairy-free and sugar-free. So like no joy, no fun, none of those yummy things. My poor husband is such a good sport to do that with me. But you guys, I haven't been on multiple sclerosis medication ever in my life. I am feeling amazing. I have some fatigue issues that I'm like, is this being a mom or is this MS? But long story short is, so much of what we put in our bodies affects our health, that I truly believe if you change your plate, you change your life. So, okay, to like shorten that story a little bit now and move on to actually, let me check this sauce really quick and I'll show you my trick on how to make these enchiladas fast. It's pretty close. I'm gonna do another couple minutes, just so it's not super watery, so it doesn't soak my tortillas and make them gross. Okay, so long story short, I was cooking those 3 meals a day, right, to make myself healthy and to eat all the veggies and all the things. Well, that was like a full-time flipping job. And as a pregnant mom, or a pregnant lady, that was exhausting, and I didn't want to have to do that all the time. So I started looking for ways that I could still cook fresh, but have some shortcuts, okay? So that's how Epicure comes in. Okay, these are tortillas that I cut into quarters, and I'm gonna layer them in this steamer like it's lasagna. I put the corners in the corners to make it square, and this is how I'm gonna do my layers, okay? Don't do enchiladas any other way. Never roll an enchilada again. This is the way to do it. Regardless of the pan size, this is my favorite way. So, okay. So in comes Epicure with all these convenient things. They have a never ever list full of all the preservatives and processed foods like corn syrup, and MSG and all those things that you don't want in your food that I was meticulously reading labels for. All of that stuff automatically not in the food. Everything's gluten-free, everything's low sodium, everything's low sugar. It was like a dream come true. But then they also have convenience cookware to make things fast. Their whole goal is you should be able to eat clean at home, but you should also be able to do it quickly because we're all busy, right? And that's the number one thing that we we get off track. It's when we're too busy to make a meal, we just get whatever's fastest, right? Okay, so, ooh, this is hot. Hold on 1 second. I just made a homemade enchilada sauce in the microwave to go with my meat that I microwaved. Okay, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. Okay, yummy. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna ladle some of the sauce on here and I'm just gonna do my layers like I would a lasagna. So tortilla, meat, sauce, cheese, and then we'll do it over again.
Mama?
Yeah, baby?
Are you making fajitas?
I'm making enchiladas, baby.
Yes!
Okay, so, long story short, or, next chapter of the long story is I had kids. And so now I'm a mom trying to feed my kids, and the convenience has changed my life. So let me talk about this steamer here. This has been my best friend. And when I first got it, I was on a cook everything on either the stove or the oven because the microwave is gross, right? Then I realized, okay, I'm reheating my coffee and my tea 800 times in the microwave. Why am I worried about cooking in the microwave? This steamer came in my business builder kit when I signed up with Epicure because I wanted a discount on all the food. And I kind of set it aside and thought to myself, like, that's weird. I'm never cooking in the microwave ever. I'll just, use the food products and not worry about the cookware. Well, I was challenged to just try it, and so I made fajitas in it. It took me 6 minutes to make fajitas. I did chicken and our fajita seasoning and some veggies, and microwaved it thinking the chicken was gonna turn out rubbery. I kind of did it as like a, I'll show you, I'll prove you wrong, this is gonna be disgusting. It was great, I was totally wrong. So this steamer is my secret to fast meals. It helps me make everything in like a quarter of the time. So fajitas in 6 minutes. I'm gonna microwave these enchiladas here in like 10 minutes. When normally you would have to bake them for, 30, 40 minutes after you assemble them. So it definitely cuts down time. I also make popcorn in this, I make bacon in this, I do rice in this. I'll make one-pot meals where I'll have chicken and veggies all together in one meal. I make lettuce wraps in this. I do this all the time. So the multi-purpose steamer, if you're looking for a way to save time, is the way to go. And then, of course, the healthy food. Even if you're not looking for healthy food, grab some Epicure anyways because it's delicious. My family loves it. My husband, I think, told me something like, oh my gosh, your food has really improved, or something like that. These recipes have really gotten better. And what he meant was, oh my gosh, I'm eating normal food again after you've been feeding me healthy stuff for 2 years. So it's like eating normal food, but just the food ingredients and none of the processed crap that you don't need. So, okay, this is enchiladas. Let me really quick, I'm gonna microwave this. This is the cream cheese, green chilies, guacamole seasoning, and a can of corn. I'm gonna get this started. And then I'm gonna microwave. It's just so funny. Like, I'd never thought in my life, someday I want to grow up and I want to use the microwave to show people how to cook. Like, never was that ever a thing. But this is the best job in the world because I'm helping you guys make meals and they're healthy. Okay, so that was a lot, right? It was my personal story. It was about our cookware. We have more than just the multi-purpose steamer, which you can see I have multiple of. I have 2 of them now because I use it all the time. They go in the dishwasher. It's great. But we have sheet pans and sheet pan liners that are really quick and easy to clean. We have an amazing non-stick skillet and a non-stick wok that are fantastic. We have pots, we have pans, and then we have meal plans and seasoning mixes and jarred seasonings. I don't know if you can see, like, I've got everything, okay? And I love it because then I've gotten to the point where I can ad-lib and I can throw in veggies and meat and a seasoning, and I know it's gonna be good because these products are just amazing. The flavors are great, and then it helps me get out of my mealtime rut. So I'm making things that I normally would have made, like homemade enchilada sauce, okay? So, quick comparison that I love. We are, and I need to print a new one, you see how wrinkled it is? We are everything you're already buying at the grocery store, okay? I know you guys are guilty of getting at least one of the things on here. Maybe that one? My husband and my kids love that one, okay? So we're everything you're already getting, just a clean, healthy version of it, but we're also more cost effective, okay? So when you go to get something like chicken broth, you're gonna be saving so much space in your pantry and money in your budget by getting a powdered chicken broth and putting it with water versus getting the cans. Now, let's talk about sodium content, because I said low sodium, okay? This is a popular fajita seasoning that you can get in your grocery store. and here's our fajita seasoning, okay? This is gonna be like $8 a jar, and you're gonna be like, holy crap, why would I pay $8 for fajita seasoning when this is $1? So here's why, you guys. First ingredient is corn syrup, then salt, then garlic, then some spices. It literally says spice. Then cornstarch, then sugar again because the corn syrup wasn't enough. Onion, citric acid, soybean oil, calcium silicate for anti-caking agent, okay? And then when you go to look at our fajita seasoning, it's going to just be spices, chili powder, onion, garlic, mustard, flour, black pepper, lemon, cayenne pepper, and herbs. None of those processed crap, no anti-caking agents, just seasonings, okay? Another thing, how many milligrams of sodium? 440 milligrams of sodium. You don't need that. And this is 5 servings, okay? This is 85 servings, no sodium. So just the difference there, you're buying a bunch of chemicals and fillers versus buying a jar of seasonings. Okay, what else? I think that's it, you guys. So everything you're already buying, a healthier version, plus meal planning services. Like we have this, this is called our Epic Box, and I get one of these every month. It's a subscription program. It's $35 flat. It's different every month, so it's fun if you're just bored. But what it is it's 7 dinners. It's a digital meal plan, so you know it has your grocery shopping list and your recipes on it. And then it's got 7 dinner, and these are meal solution packets. 7 different ones every time. A dessert, an exclusive item that you can't get in the catalog, and a dip mix. So this one just happens to be a guacamole dip mix, okay? That is the best thing ever. It shows up in my mailbox. I use the grocery shopping list to order groceries. I go and pick them up or have them delivered, and I've got 7 meals that are taken care of without even thinking about it. So that's my favorite. Okay, so if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, Kelsey, this is a lot. Like, you heard about food, you heard about how clean everything is, you've heard about our cookware. Let me tell you kind of how to tie it together so that you know what to do next. After I swap these out. Oh no, stop. Okay, so you're gonna go onto the website and you're gonna find some cookware that you think will make your life easier, whether it's the multi-purpose steamer or the sheet pan and the sheet pan liners that I talked about, and you're gonna add one of those to your cart because it's gonna save you time and it's gonna be high quality cookware that you can put in your flippin' dishwasher, okay? The second thing you're gonna do is you're gonna look at our food collections. My ultimate favorite, if you need a sampler, if you're like new to Epicure, is the 3 weeknights of easy dinners. It's gonna be 15 of these meal solution packets, okay, and a meal plan. So that way you have a grocery shopping list to go off of. You'll have 15 different things to try so that you can find what your favorites are, and then go from there, okay? You could also look at our jarred seasonings like our guacamole, our fajita, our marinara seasoning. All of those I use regularly, and they're in a jar instead of in a packet. Yeah, and that you're gonna add 1 or 2 of those food items in with your cookware so that you can really see how Epicure helps you. Okay, last few things. There are 3 different ways that you can use Epicure in your life. The first one's obvious. You can shop and be a customer and really change what's on your plate so that you can change your health in your life. You can become a host, and you can get free and half price items for holding pop-up shops. And number 3 is becoming a consultant like I am and get a commission for using and sharing the products that you love. Okay? So I hope this helps you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I'll be sure to show you all a picture of these amazing enchiladas when they're done.